Hello everyone and welcome to Cover 2 TV with me, Steve Hoare. As you can probably tell, I'm not at the studio today, I'm at home, but I still wanted to put out a video just to discuss the first round of the 2017 NFL Draft because it was a bit mad. Cleveland took the slam dunk first pick, didn't they? Myles Garrett, spot on, no issues with that. Second, the Chicago Bears trade up to number 2. They gave away a few third and fourth round picks, one to move up one place to draft UNC quarterback Mitchell Trubisky, and that just blew my mind when I saw it. I was thinking, who are they trading up for? Maybe it's one of the safeties. I like Adams and Hooker, for example. Maybe they really like Solomon Thomas or one of the other rushers. But no, they traded one place and took the quarterback, who it's not as if Chicago are one quarterback away from being, a Super Bowl contender. Like I think Houston are, and they traded up later on. We'll get to that, but for the Bears to make that decision, I found extraordinary, and it might come back and bite them in the backside, and who knows, as time will tell. But I found that as an extraordinary pick for those, and yeah, I had Mitchell Trubisky ranked as a 20 odd, even 30th player or whatever in the draft, late first, early second. So 2 overall blows my mind. Who knows how it'll pan out? It makes no sense to me at this moment. And Mike Glennon's probably a bit pissed off now, isn't he, as well? But granted, he's just made $17 million, so he shouldn't be too upset. But he goes to a place where he thinks he's getting the starter's job, and well, now he's probably not. He'll probably get a few games, maybe a season, and then Trubisky will be the man. Other quarterbacks taken, like I say, in the top of the draft. So the Kansas City Chiefs took Pat Mahomes. Again, I thought that would be something that did happen, but I thought it would be later on in the draft. The fact that they traded up next year's first to go to 10. They obviously thought someone else was in the mix, maybe the Saints, maybe at 11 we're going to take Pat Mahomes. Again, I get the upside with Pat Mahomes. I see the arm strength, I see the ability to make crazy throws. So I can see why someone who's been coaching Alex Smith, who doesn't throw downfield, might be tantalised by the prospect of having Mahomes. But again, he's not going to play this year, you wouldn't think, and Alex Smith's going to keep that role. And again, Alex Smith's going to lose his job to teams like replacing Alex Smith with younger quarterbacks, so maybe that says a lot about what the league thinks of Alex. And then at 12, the Houston Texans, who gave away next year's second round pick to Cleveland just to dump Brock Osweiler's contract, also give Cleveland next year's first round pick, and they trade up and take Deshaun Watson. Again, that makes more sense to me, because Houston obviously think they're one quarterback away from a Super Bowl. They've been a playoff team without any real decent quarterback play in the last few years. Obviously, Osweiler and Savage led them to the playoffs last year, Hoyer and Mallett, and I think they just had enough, and they've rolled the dice again. So yeah, 3 quarterbacks in the top 12. Yeah, that's the NFL, isn't it? I don't think any of them are worth anywhere near that value, but that's the NFL that we're in now. If I'm honest, it reminds me a bit of the Blaine Gabbert, Jay Clark, or Christian Ponder draft, where quarterbacks got pushed up. Now, some of these guys are probably a bit more talented than those other ones who were taken, and again, this might come back in a few years and bite me on the backside, but all 3 of them have got major question marks, and for them all to be top 12 picks in such a talent-heavy draft, that completely blew my mind. And I say, you guys let me know how you felt about it in the comments below. If you think I'm wrong, think I'm right, but for me, I get the quarterback position and how valuable it is, and you need one. Trading up and taking them that high, well, who knows? I kind of see the sense in Houston doing it. The other teams, I'm not so sure right away. Other picks that I really liked in the top half of the draft, 3 wide receivers going in the top 10, which some people thought none of them would. I presume the Titans actually would take a wide receiver. I thought they'd take Mike Williams. If you watched the previous video, they take Corey Davis, who's a very good player as well. No real massive issues on that. Mike Williams ends up in Los Angeles with Phil Rivers, so he's probably delighted now. And John Ross goes to Cincinnati, and AJ Green must be delighted with that. Andy Dalton must be delighted with that, because I thought the Bengals were close to their Super Bowl window closing. In fact, I said on the last video, it is. That maybe John Ross, if he stays healthy, he at least gives them a deep threat, and you can't double team him and AJ Green, so you're gonna have to pick your poison. Defensive coordinators. You're obviously going to double team AJ Green, and someone's got to go one-on-one with John Ross, and that's probably not going to end too well all the time if Andy Dalton can get on the ball. I love Christian McCaffrey. He's the perfect fit for Carolina. Again, it was something that I did think would happen. It just makes 100%. It makes perfect sense. Shotgun running back. He can do anything really. Catch passes. He'll be great in the read option with Cam Newton. He'll take the pressure off Cam. Fantastic pick. I think that's an absolute worldie. Other picks that I'd like to discuss. I think Malik Hooker falling to the Colts. The Colts must be astounded and ecstatic with that pick. Obviously, teams do know something I don't, and right, obviously they're well more qualified than me. I thought he was a top 5 pick. To get him, in the middle of the first round. The Colts must be absolutely delighted. I think he's amazing. I think he's going to have a wonderful career in Indianapolis. The 49ers, again, I mentioned they took Solomon Thomas. They traded back into the first round at the end, which is one of those picks that they acquired from the Bears, and got Reuben Foster late on. Injury and off-field issues have obviously made Reuben Foster drop, but adding Solomon Thomas and adding Reuben Foster to your defense in one draft that just makes them much, much better already. San Francisco, they were a poor team, they had a poor roster, but that improves them dramatically. What else? Picks that I'm not too sure on at the moment. Evan Ingram to the Giants. I predicted he would take a tight end. I said David Njoku, but Evan Ingram, he's a glorified wide receiver. He's a glorified slot receiver, so they'll have plans in place. Sterling Shepard is a slot receiver as well. They'll have something. Evan Ingram doesn't block, and that line need the blockers. So I was surprised when they didn't take an offensive lineman there or something, but I thought at least if they were going to take the tight end, they might take the one who blocks a bit, but I'm not sure Evan Ingram's that man yet. Maybe he develops into that, who knows. Speaking of tight ends, I love OJ Howard going to Tampa Bay. I think, it's great. Many had him as a top 10 pick. I thought he was around that range myself. He falls to 19 to Tampa, and they ran the card in. I think there was 9 minutes left on the clock. They must have been delighted at that. He'll be perfect in that offense. He gives Jameis a threat over the middle, and they haven't really had one either as a slot receiver or a running back really catching passes, or a tight end over the middle, and now that's what they've got. So absolutely fantastic for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Other picks that I think deserve a quick mention. Well, I think New Orleans had a decent draft. Actually, they got Marshall Lattimore and Ryan Ramczyk in the same draft. So they've offensive line they've added at the very end of the draft with a decent tackle at 32, and they get one of the best cornerbacks in the draft at 11. So again, they must have been very happy with the rush on quarterbacks if they weren't planning to take one, which some people think they were. Other than that, again, Jonathan Allen fell to the Redskins. Again, you've got to presume the shoulder's bad. He has a shoulder injury, which is obviously teams may have scared teams off because he's a really good player. And we all wondered how the Gary and Conley situation would end. Would he fall out the draft completely, the first, second round maybe? But obviously, for those who don't know, he was accused of rape by a woman a few weeks ago now, an incident that took place a few weeks ago, which he strongly denies. He's not been charged or arrested as such. He's just been accused, but there was talk that might put a few teams off. But Oakland still decided to take him. They needed corner help, so it makes sense. And he's probably good again. It might have affected the draft stock a little bit because he fell all the way to the mid-20s, but that's still a very, very good pick. Other than that, well, at the bottom of the first round, we had a few teams. The Packers traded out, the Seahawks traded out of the first round. I say, as a Packers fan, I was half expecting that, to be honest. That the Packers, as it stands, own the 33rd pick. They're probably going to trade down again, to be honest. That's what they do. That's what Ted does, and it's it's not a surprise that a GM who learned under Ted Thompson and John Schneider does the same in Seattle, and in a deep class where there's a lot of good players still left on the board. It isn't the worst idea to stock up on picks. Other than that, well, one pick I should have really mentioned that I really do like, and I probably should mention it earlier, is Jamal Adams going to the New York Jets. The New York Jets need some character, they need some leadership, and they need some really good players because they haven't really got any. Todd Bowles, if you watch the coverage, looks delighted when the pick goes in, when they show the war room. Rightly so, Jamal Adams is an absolute stud. He'll go in, be a day one starter, and he'll change the mood of that place dramatically. And for a team that needs that, again, slam dunk pick. If there's any, like I say, Let me know in the comments below what your favourite picks were, and any that you didn't get your head around or can't get your head around. Like say, the quarterback ones to me kind of blow my mind. Well, they do blow my mind a lot. Other than that, everything else pretty much makes sense. I think most fans of their teams will be completely happy. I know, obviously, Chicago fans, a few heads exploded, I imagine, at the time, but everyone else is probably pretty okay with what their team done. But actually, let me know in the comments below what you think about your team's draft, what you think of the draft overall, the first round, and I say we'll be back. I'll be back, along with in the studio with Chris, hopefully next week to recap the draft as a whole. Until then, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you follow us on Twitter @Cover2TV. And until next time, I will see you all later. Ta-ra.